Hello and welcome to the debate. I'm Jim Gibbons, and today we're going to be discussing with our experts here the political shape of the new European Parliament and what sort of effect that is likely to have on policy and on decision making over the next 5 years. I have a set of 4 guests with very, very different views in the studio. Let's start with Eva Lichtenberger on the left from Austria, representing the Greens. We have Katika... yes, sorry, I've forgotten your name already. Katika Leotard, Vice Chair
I'm sorry, that's my name.
Yes, Vice Chair of the confederal group of the European United Left, Nordic Green Left. So you're an important person in the group there. Next we come to Peter Liese from the largest single group in the Parliament. From Germany, of course, he's from the EPP, European People's Party. And we have Derek Clark from the UK Independence Party, which actually managed to knock the ruling Labour Party into 3rd place in the European elections in the United Kingdom. So a lot of ranges of opinion there, a lot of things to talk about. But first of all, we're going to take a look at this video. With the elections over, the hard work of creating the groups that will make up the European Parliament for the next 5 years has begun. The elected MEPs come from 158 parties in 27 countries, and to function effectively they have to form alliances. As they start to arrive in Brussels, the hard-talking and horse-trading start. Britain's 25 Conservatives, for instance, are determined to leave the EPP and find other allies.
We have what I consider to be the big 3, which is the British Conservatives, the ODS from Czech Republic and the PIS from Poland. And then we have parties from Belgium, Holland, from Latvia, Lithuania, Hungary, and probably Finland. These are the official numbers, but they're misleading. The UK Conservatives are listed among the non-aligned, but they won't be. Ireland's Fianna Fáil members and others will join the ALDE. Meanwhile, the Socialists have agreed to change their name in order to welcome Italy's Partito Democratico members and possibly more.
I'm actually very much in favour of changing the name of the Socialist Group to the Democratic and Socialist Group, because I'm a Socialist Democrat at the very least.
But what of the new right-wing parties? Despite the media stories, they deny being racist, xenophobic, anti-Roma or extremist, merely against the way things are now.
If you challenge this and you challenge the status quo of global governance and global capital, you are called an extremist.
According to Parliament veterans, previous right-wing groups have found it hard to make alliances stick or to mount effective opposition. It will be interesting to see if that changes over the next 5 years. We're certainly in for a very interesting 5 years, I think. Let's come to you first, Eva Lichtenberger. I mean, how do you see the new Parliament? Because the Greens have done quite well in these recent elections. You're going to be certainly at least the 4th largest group.
I think we did very well, and I think this also shows that there is some consciousness in the population about climate change and necessity to act. You know, in the next Parliament, we will be confronted with a high majority of conservative forces which might not be prepared to do the necessary changes.
UKIP were sitting to the right of the House in the old Independence and Democracy group. There is some suggestion that you may not be as comfortable there this time because there are parties likely to join it that are viewed by UKIP as being racist themselves, and you don't want to associate yourselves with that.
We're not going to be associated with anything racist, and I would take issue with you on being right-wing. We simply want to withdraw our country from the European Union and manage our own affairs, and we cannot understand what is right-wing or extremist about that. Having said that, you are right in one respect. Our Indem group of 22, 23 members from 9 countries altogether, as at the last Parliament, a lot of those people, the 2 Dutchmen, the 2 Swedes, our lone Czech and 1 or 2 others, have been swept away by new parties. I mean, the Swedes have been swept away by this telecoms party, the Pirates. And in the Eastern European countries, they've been swept aside by, yes, truly right-wing parties, and we don't know how we'll get on with them.
Peter Liese, your group has emerged from this as the largest single group, as it was, of course, in the last Parliament. There are some people who are saying, well, EPP are the biggest group, the PES are the second group, even though they're going to change their name, of course, we think, to the Alliance of Socialists and Democrats. So nothing much is going to change. This is going to be business as usual.
No, not really. I think some things are changing. And first of all, congratulations to the Greens. They made it a very good outcome, especially in Germany and France, and they are playing a more important role than in the last parliament. This is one of the changes. Now that the members from the United Kingdom and from Czech Republic left us, we're even more center and less center-right than before. So I think Christian Democrats is the right name and not conservatives, and that is also part of our vision. You know, we have lost the two delegations from Czech Republic and from UK, and we have still the same share in the parliament. We have to underline, UKIP has made a success in UK. There was also success for some anti-European parties in Austria and in the Netherlands. Yes. But, for example, in France and in Poland, these parties have disappeared. They have been defeated. And Libertas has one single seat in the European Parliament. So it's colorful. And the only thing you can say that Christian Democrats and Greens have a little bit more influence than in the last parliament.
The left suffered generally across the whole of Europe, but you actually did quite well. You got some seats.
Actually, we gained in percentages, but we stayed with 2 members. And what you see within our left-wing group is, unfortunately, we lost our 7 Italian members. But I also always say, politics, when voters vote for European politics, it's 27 different approaches why people vote, and of course it's a loss. On the other hand, it's a loss. That's really true.
You said one very important thing. It was 27 different discussions, and the whole discussion during the election campaign was very much focused on national issues, especially in some countries. Extremely. You saw a debate which had nothing to do with Europe at all.
Together with the other 3 big parties, we were allowed 3 5-minute television broadcasts. Our 3 broadcasts were exclusively about the EU. You might not have liked the message, but it was about the EU and our attitude towards it. The other 3 parties did not talk about the EU at all.
In, for example, the Netherlands, for some people it really was an issue. And you saw that the percentages which came to the vote, I think it was really influenced by the fact that the government didn't really listen to the people in the referendum about the constitution, because a lot of people said, well, in this referendum they didn't listen. Brussels is doing what they want, and why should we go to the vote now?
Geert Wilders' party was not successful because of its Lisbon Treaty stance. It was successful because of fears over immigration and particularly the Muslims.
Yes, they blame the Islam for everything. So it was not an issue. That was really the Dutch political part, I think.
2 founder member states said no to the constitution. The people in Ireland said no.
You see, the elections in France favoured a very pro-European party.
Yeah, but they may be, but the point is the people in France and Holland were not listened to. They revamped the treaty, the constitution, called it a treaty. They left 1 or 2 bits out. They reshuffled the paragraphs and renumbered them. It fooled no one with any intelligence. The Irish said no and are being forced into yet another referendum. How can we expect the people of Europe to want to know more about the EU and to accept it more fully if you've got this undemocratic charade when it comes to a national referendum?
How is the new European Parliament going to function? Is it going to function as it functioned before, or are there going to be things that will get in the way and hold it up, particularly now that we have parties from the far right who are forming groups that are small, admittedly, but still...
I think already in the last period you saw more people speaking out in a different way, and I think the voters mixed up the parliament a lot, and I hope we will get even more funny and firework debates, and maybe that helps also. Maybe that helps also to get the people more interested. And I think the thing which is very important is when we, as a European Union, but also as a European Parliament, make decisions, we have to do it from the bottom up. So go to the people and ask what they want, for example, in a referendum.
I have to end it
and
here,
listen to them this time.
Okay, I'm going to have to end it there. We're going to have some very lively levels of disagreement over the next 5 years, I think. So I'd just like to say a great thanks to my guests, because we have run out of time, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So it's Eva Lichtenberger from Austria, Katika Leotard from the Netherlands, Peter Liese from Germany, Derek Clark from the UK. Thank you very much indeed. I think we face a very interesting 5 years, don't you?
I
Goodbye.
think so.